Hey, what's up YouTube? Here's another video by Ratchets and Wrenches. Today I'm going to show you how to remove and replace your transmission mount. It's going to be done on a 1997 Subaru Legacy Outback. It's an all-wheel drive vehicle. It's got a 2.5 liter engine. But before I show you, I just want to, just some of the symptoms of a bad motor or transmission mounts are basically vibration, feeling vibration through the steering wheel or just in general inside the car. Especially when the car is in drive, obviously, and when that usually basically is a symptom of a bad motor or transmission mount, and it's time to, and already feel that vibration, it's time to inspect your motor mounts and transmission mounts. I've obviously already checked the motor mounts on this car, and they're fine. And when I inspected the transmission mounts, it's got only one transmission mount, and when I inspected it, it's torn. The center, there's rubber. It's a rubber mount, but it's half of it is torn, and that's what we're going to replace today. Alright, so obviously the first step is going to be raising your car, the front of the car, and supporting it on jack stands on both sides. Okay, and to give you an idea of where the transmission mount is going to be on this car, it's basically going to be right above your catalytic converter, right there, between this cross member and your transmission. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you that clearly, but you can see the where it's torn in the middle right there. Alright, next, since we're gonna be removing the transmission mount, we wanna get our jack underneath the transmission pan and get the piece of 2x4, making sure it's long enough where it's gonna be applying even pressure to the oil pan, and just lift it a little bit, make sure it's supporting the transmission. And that's it. Alright, so the way I'm going to go about removing this transmission mount is we're going to remove this cross member, and then we're going to remove the transmission mount from the transmission, and just basically it's going to be, installation is going to be the reverse of that, but I'm going to do this so we don't have to, we're going to try to do this in a way so we don't have to remove this catalytic converter, so this pipe, we don't have to disconnect it and remove it. Alright, first step is going to be, there's two bolts that hold this heat shield to our cross member, and they're 12mm, so we're going to remove these first. Okay, here's the first one. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side now. Alright, here's the second one. Alright, next there's four fasteners that hold the transmission mount to this cross member, and they're 14mm, so we're going to remove those next. I'm going to have to use my ratchet for this last two. This last one was on there pretty good, so I only got the longer ratchet. Alright, next we need to remove these three bolts that hold the cross member in place, and they're also 14mm. Alright, now we'll do the same thing on this side, and this should go without saying, but make sure your jack is under the transmission and that hasn't moved, and you want to double check on, make sure it's going to be safely supported before you remove the cross member. Okay. Alright, so now with all the bolts removed, we should be able to just safely slide this out of the way. And there we go. Finally. Okay, and here's a good look at our transmission mount now. And as you can see, it's kind of torn halfway here. And there's 2 bolts that hold it to the transmission. We gotta remove those next. They're 12mm, by the way. Alright, there's the second bolt on this side, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side now. Alright guys, so here it is, free and clear finally. And as you can see, it's torn here. Same thing on this side, and yeah, you know, the vibration wasn't super bad on this car, but I could definitely feel it, and I'm pretty tough on my own car, so definitely time to replace this. So yeah, this is basically it, you know. So when you go back to put this in, it's just basically going to be reversal of removal. You put this in, attach it to the transmission, then you put your cross member in. When you tighten all the 6 bolts that hold the cross member to the body, then you lower your jack. This goes all the way into the cross member. Then you tighten all the bolts, all these 4 the nuts or the fasteners that hold this to the cross member, and that's it. That's all there is to it. Just make sure you do that in that order. You know, attach this to the transmission, tighten it down, put the cross member in, attach the cross member to the body, lower this onto the cross member, then you tighten down the nuts, the fasteners that hold us in place, and that's it. So yeah, I hope this video helps people out there, and if you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them below, and if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. See you next time.